Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and to my November wrap up of everything I coloured during the month of November. So I have 12 pages to take you through today. I didn't quite get as many of my existing work in progresses done that I wanted to do. I kind of got distracted by one book in particular, but we did manage to get a bit done and I am fairly happy with most of the pages. So all in all, it's a win. So the first page that I will show you is the work in progress from last month. It's from Symphony of Cute Animals by Kanoko Egusa. So this is the Halloween double spread that I was trying to get done for October, which unfortunately did run long and I did not manage to finish this full double page spread for October, but we got it done within the first week of November. I ended up doing a massive 18-hour stream over on Twitch for the final push on the page. It was a lot, but I love how this one turned out. I love it very much. I think it's turned out really, really, really nicely. The best thing about this page is also the lore that was created with these characters in mind. The lore is quite intense. It was created in combination with my chat as we worked on the page, which is why this page has been called Murphy's Lore. It involves all the characters on the page, a murder mystery plot, multiple dimensions, romance, magic. It was complicated. It's essentially 3 books worth. So I will list a separate video where I just talk about the lore of this page, because there has been a few people who have asked me about that, and that's like a good 10 minutes to explain all the plot lines. So yeah, I will list a separate video for you to go and watch if you are interested in the lore of Murphy's Law. But we ended up using mostly Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils on the page. There is some Posca. There's a tiny amount of stickles on the bats, and then on the background of the night sky is Deco Art Enchanted Topper, Enchanted Shimmer, that's what it's called. And I particularly love like the little details, like the marble effects that I created, the lighting effects, and all sorts of the little details. So yeah, it was 88 hours all up to do this page. It was an absolute labor of love, but I really love how this page turned out. Next up we have from Mythographic Deep Blue by Fabiana Attanasio, the Posidon page. So this is my first one in this book that I have completed. I used Derwent Inktense pencils, Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, and Posca in the white, and then just a black acrylic for the border just to frame it up. And I was really focusing on and playing with light reflex, so not only was there a direct yellow glow coming from here, but there's also a blue glow from the water itself. And yeah, I really, really like how this one turned out in the end. It's very simple in terms of the colour scheme, but I think that makes it quite effective, and I can see him being underwater, which is really fun to play with. The third page is from Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. Now this is one that was on the existing work in progress list that I was trying to get finished from 2022. So I had pre-based a bunch of the clothes in some sort of water-soluble media, possibly Inktense, possibly Albert Dürer's, possibly some sort of water pan palette situation. I don't remember what I used. I went in and defined some of the shadows a little bit with some Staedtler student grade pencils. There's like a little bit of fluff up the top there that's annoying me. Yeah, so some Staedtler student grade pencils, and then I wasn't really sure what else to do with the page. In the end, I pulled out a bunch of my Poscas and my stickles, and so gave all the clothes a lot of little details with either stickles or Posca. My lights are hating this page. And then in the background, I just used a matte acrylic navy paint. It's not the best application of paint, but I know I wasn't really in love with this page, and I'm still not really in love with this page, but at least I feel like it is completed. I would have rather not had to paint the background, but I did have this t-shirt, like the colour spread everywhere, so I had to cover the background because the colour of this paper doesn't mean I can just use a Posca to remove the smudge or something. It was very obviously smudged, and there was no way to clean it up without blocking out the background. So that's what we did. Oh, that shows the texture of the paint really, really badly. Yeah. So it's not my favourite page in the world, but it's done. It's sparkly. The next page is in Kerby Rosanes' Fragile World. This is another work in progress from 2022 that we finished off, so knocking out another one on the list. And these are the parrots. They are page 46. Next one. They are the thick-billed parrots. They are endangered from northern Mexico. So I didn't use the actual colouring, although looking at some references on Google, they are shades of green and pink, so I did kind of get some of the colours right, but the colourway is very different on them. I started this page with a set of Tombow brush markers that I was sent to try, and I did not know how to use them properly, and they bled everywhere in this book. So the behind pages we have a bunch of cleanup to do on. And then I used Distress inks in the background for the branches, and I had left it at that stage for quite a while. So I came in with my Prismacolor pencils to finish off all the details on the branches, the probably pine cones, but they look almost like berries with the way I've coloured them, and then the birds themselves. And then I used my Kaisercraft shimmer spray just to add some more detail to the background. And I also, before I added the shimmer spray, went back over the background with another coat of Distress inks, because when I first did this, I didn't know how to use my Distress inks properly or blend them properly, so it was very patchy and just wasn't very nice looking. So I went back over and redid the background with another layer of Distress ink, which helped a lot. And then I added in a bunch of water for the splatter, and then the shimmer inks on top. And I really like the effect of that. I feel like this page has come together really nicely in the end. The parrots look so much better with a bit more shading as well. And yeah, so now I've just got this awful mess behind to clean up. But it's nice to actually have a proper page done in here, because apart from the polar bear and the little turtle on the front, I have not done anything else in Fragile World. So I've been putting off touching it because I hadn't completed these birds. So it's really nice to get that one done and to have Fragile World now as an option of a book to work in. And surprisingly, this is my only Kerby for the month as well, which is very rare for me. Right, so I have two in Colouring Heaven. The first is in Neko Girls Special. This is art by Deena Stone. And this is another old work in progress that we completed. I was really trying to complete all those really old work in progress pages. And so I had done all the alcohol marker base, so it was really just going in and shading with the pencils, adding in any details, and of course glitter. So the alcohol markers are just random assortment of alcohol markers that I had. I used polychromos pencils on top, Stickles glitter glue, and then I had some metallic markers that I just brought that I tried out. So like her bangles are done in the metallic markers, and part of the headphones and that are just done in the metallics as well. And I will eventually go around the outside of this page with like a black acrylic paint just to frame it and also hide all my little testers down the side, and that'll clean up the edge. But I'm happy to call this part done, and then I'll just go and do the border at some stage. Like, I don't think I've done, I haven't done the one on the first page either, so probably at some point I'll just go through and block out a few pages with the border. But yeah, that was really nice to get that page done, and again, knock out another one on the old work in progress list. And then the other colouring heaven that we completed is in the Gothic Fantasy Special. This has got designs by Enys Guerrero. And we did the moon, although I think I called it Moon Dancer everywhere. But I really like this one. So this was done on a live stream, actually, just impromptu. Needed something to colour, knew that this one was in progress, so I was like, let's just go for it. So again, I had based it with alcohol marker. I unfortunately used too dark of a blue in the background, and all the beautiful background details got lost because her skirt kind of turns into waves forming up, and all of that got lost because I used such a dark blue, which was a real shame. But yeah, that's part of the reason why it sat on my shelf for so long, because it's like, I kind of ruined it. I didn't. I just had to change how I approached the background. So I coloured over her with polychromos pencils, and I was really trying to get a bunch of blue highlighting in there, like she's being lit by this blue moon. And then also used Stickles, and I used some glitter gel pens to do like her face details and all the details on her outfit. The moon is just like a thick layer of Stickles. It's so shimmery and so pretty. And then to sort of replicate that spray messy background, I used my Kaisercraft shimmer spray in the iridescent white, and that just kind of adds that sort of starry, misty background effect to it. I think it turned out really well for just finishing off an old page. And then the final book that stopped me on my mission of completing old work in progress pages and completely sidetracked me for the month was Teresa Goodridge, It's a Cat's World. And this started me down a complete rabbit hole of Teresa Goodridge books, and yeah, I fell very much head into this book, and as you can see, I've completed 6 pages in here because I really enjoyed this book this month. So yeah, let's get into it. So I did number them so I could show you in the order of what I completed them. So the first one what I completed was these Kittens on the bicycle. This one is just polychromos pencils with a little bit of Stickles. And I think there's a little bit of Posca just on the fur to help bring out some of the white fur. Yes, and definitely some on the bicycle as well. So yeah, I did put a poll up on Instagram about this one to figure out what colour to do the cats. I still think the ginger gets a bit lost, and they probably would have looked better as black cats. I did say I was contemplating doing the whole book with black cats. However, I'm glad I didn't do the whole book in black cats, but I still think probably I should have done this page with black cats. The ginger does get lost against the fence, and if we had done black, it would have popped a bit more. But everyone voted for ginger. I think it ended up with like 80% of the votes, so we went for ginger cats, and they are very cute. And I do like fluffy ginger cats. So that was number 1. And then number 2 was this one here. of the cats on the porch. So this one I took what I learned on the first page I did, but I added in a bunch of Posca details because I was experimenting with actually trying to block out a bunch of the lines and make it a little bit more lineless, adding in a bunch of texture and really just focusing on how the light played on this page, and I really love how this turned out. However, my Poscas have kind of died because of it, and I probably need to look at getting some more Poscas. Totally worth it though. So yeah, this one is again polychromos pencils and Posca, and then a little touch of stickles for the butterfly, and that's it. I particularly love how bright and colourful this one is. Right, and then number 3. So this one will not be long in this book. After I film this video, I will actually be removing this page from this book. I have a photocopy that will go in its place, but this original is actually going up to my mum because this is one that I coloured on my live streams, and I coloured the cat inspired by her pet cat Shadow. There's this beautiful black cat with just like a little tiny white patch of fur on his chest. Because of the angle of the cat, couldn't quite replicate that, so instead I coloured in the bow white, and it's got like a little sparkle in there. It's a very subtle sparkle. It is the Deco Art Glamour Dust. It's a super fine glitter. It's great for adding like little touches of sparkle without maybe the boom sparkle of stickles. And yeah, so we spent ages colouring this one on stream. I'm sorry for every person that I made desire cake, because yeah, I got it. I also had to eat a bunch of cake while colouring this one. So once again, this is Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, Posca, and also metallic Posca for the gold, the Deco Art Glamour Dust, and washi tape, which is how I did the tablecloth. It is a washi tape that I cut out to simulate a tablecloth, and then an alcohol marker for this background as well, just to give us a nice flat matte minty background. But yeah, I really love how this page turned out. I think this one was one of my favorites. And then the 4th page was these kitties getting into trouble in the kitchen. So this page started because I wanted to test how Prismacolors worked in this book, because I'd done so much in polys. So I pulled out my Prismas, and I like the fact that Prismacolors are so opaque that they kind of block out a bunch of the lines, and you don't have to do as much work with Poscas if you want to try and block out some of the lines, or you can leave the lines there but they're a little bit more subtle. Yeah, so for that it was quite effective. I'm not happy with some of the colours that I chose for this setting. I was trying to go for a more vintagey kitchen, but I ended up choosing really vibrant colours for certain things as well. So like the brightness of these bowls and the curtain, it's very in your face, and it takes away from the cats and makes it like this is the focal point, and the bowl should not be the focal point. The kitties should be the focal point. However, I'm very happy with the different types of cats that I managed to get on here and the different effects that the cats have. So yeah, and Prismas also work great in these books as well, so that's good to know for another option. And then page 5. So after I completed the other pages, one of my stream watchers mentioned about using their cat as a reference, or their cats as references for a page. So I was very keen on that, because figuring out the cats is like one of the hardest parts of these pages for me. So he sent through images of his 3 cats, and we use them as the inspiration for this page. So we have Tara, Azrael, and Tama, and I just love them watching like the TV. I was also trying, again, a new type of pencil in this book. So this is the Koh-i-Noor Mondeluz Equial pencils. Oh my god, it's a mouthful. And I was trying to also block out a bunch of the lines while still keeping the lines there, so that it's kind of like the glare of a TV, but you still have like the sharp lines for what's not in the TV, just for a bit of contrast. I really like how that turned out. And then the rest of this is done in Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. We have an alcohol marker for the background, again, just to get a nice flat background. Posca, and a little bit of stickles just on the collar. Just a little touch of glitter. And then the final page. the final in here that I completed this month, which is actually a 3-part series on the channel, which is Kitnip. This gorgeous page involving the quilt. So this one I used washi tape to do the quilt and the pillows. So that's a section in itself about how to like fussy cut and place all the bits of tape and how I lined it all up so it all kind of matches. And then in the second part I did a base layer on most of the items with the Koh-i-Noor Mondeluz Equial pencils, and then started using my Polychromos pencils in a Posca to create like a bronze metallic look to the bed frame. And then in the third part I finished off all the rest of the details using the Polychromos pencils, stickles, Posca, and the gold metallic Posca as well. And this cat was also inspired by another friend of mine, their cat Magic. So like a beautiful blue-grey tabby. And I thought the contrast of Magic to the rest of the bed frame worked really well. And there we go. There is all 12 pages that I completed in the month of November. Let me know down below which one was your favourite. Also, let me know how you find this new little overlap video format. I'm still trying things out, trying to find what I like on the channel. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. I can't wait to jump into December colouring. I have so many pages that I want to get done this month. It's going to be a busy month, but also I'm excited for what I colour. Looking forward to chatting with you all soon. Have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Did we go really long so we can cut it?